What up, fam?
What's up? After a long hiatus.
It was like a extra month hiatus.
I mean, that's a long time.
We've been busy, dude.
We've been busy. And we have a lot to cover. That's the part of the problem of us being gone for so long is there's a lot of news that's happened. So
yeah, throughout the month, Garrett and I will send each other.
Oh,
Whoa, whoop. Sorry. I got my monitor on over here. Garrett and I will send each other stories and articles throughout the month, and then they just kind of find their way into a Google Doc.
Mm-hmm.
And this one's got like
a lot,
16, 17 things in it. So
we normally have like 5 per, and this has got. There's a lot's happened, but if you're unfamiliar with our show, this is the Homebrew Guys.
The Homebrew Guys.
We are 2 YouTubers who make a lot of alcohol, mead, kind of most often, but other alcohols. And we come together to do this awesome show we call Homebrew Guys podcast, where we talk about the world of homebrewing and what's happening, including and not limited to things that are happening on the internet and or actually physically in the world. So we have a couple segments that we go through, but it's also time to get to chat with you guys, and we love getting to hear what you've liked about the show or what you want more of. If you like segments, if you like specific things, we've kind of added a new thing towards the end where we do a homebrew, I don't want to say educational moment, but we generally pause and we'll say, hey, let's talk about this specific topic. So we've kind of started doing some extra stuff, but we're here to chat about lots of fun things. Are we getting crunchy?
Yeah, I'm just gonna switch to performance mode for a little bit and see if that helps things out.
We're getting fiber soon, hopefully, so maybe life will get
fiber soon.
I can't wait.
I was telling him earlier my fiber went down today, so
maybe they brought it to me. Maybe they're working on it. They stole it from your house.
They just lugged that cable over here.
So BC, where have you been? Because it's been a while, man.
I've been busy. We've had a lot going on in our personal lives, including we had our air conditioner replaced, which was a huge pain. Car's in the shop right now.
Yeah, he rolled up in a different car, and all I did was point at it, and he just went, like he threw his hands up, was just like, I don't want to talk about it.
I'm in a loaner right now.
And I was like, okay.
In a RAV4. It's kind of a nice car, though. Not gonna lie. Like it's got a little thing where you can throw your phone on it for wireless charging.
Okay.
Which I learned about today because I threw my phone down there and then it like lit up that it was charging and I was like, oh, cool.
No, my Prius doesn't have that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been busy, but we've done 2 pouring events in the last month.
Yeah, we've been busy doing a lot of sharing of alcohol. That's the kind of most fun thing I think we've done. And we'll kind of recap that. Do you want to recap that now or later?
Now and later.
How about? Okay.
Let's start with Hoppy Camper.
All right,
let's talk about
I'm
Hoppy
wearing
Camper.
the swag as it stands. So
I'm glad I didn't wear the shirt because I almost put that shirt on
luckily
tonight.
I would have changed. So
that's fair. I guess you do live here.
We made it work. Hoppy Camper was the bigger pouring event that we were at. We went to Guthrie, Oklahoma, and went to this camp. Not really camp, but a event center at this camp where they pulled in, I want to say there was probably 20 homebrewers and not as many commercial this time.
Yeah.
Probably 6 to 8 people pouring commercial brews, and we poured our own stuff. BC took I'm getting them flipped around now. You took
I had butterbeer and cherry limeade.
Yep, he took
at
those
that event.
2.
Yeah.
I took, what did I take? Oh my gosh, we've poured so much stuff now.
You had your applesauce.
Yep, had the applesauce.
You had a blueberry muffin.
Oh, blueberry, yeah. So I poured my blueberry muffin, and then we had a special pour that was one of each. He brought a carrot blossom and something blend, right? Remember?
Yeah, it was a blend of carrot blossom trad and a pretty heavily oaked no water blueberry mead.
And I had a coffee blossom. And then the thing that actually I think people enjoyed most was the mini bottles we brought. We brought like 5 or 6 bottles of things, and people really loved the tasting of those because they were like weird. You brought a corn cob wine.
Corn cob wine, yeah.
I had my peach pie mead. You brought a maple wine. what else did we bring? I brought my peppermint. Like
you had the peppermint.
Our table literally had probably 12 things.
We ran the gamut of meads.
And it was to our detriment, I will say, because there is a people choice side where they walk around and they vote with caps. And I think the people didn't end up voting for our stuff that was up for the competition, mostly because they tried all the other things.
Yeah.
And, we were like, hey, try this thing too. And they're like, no, I really want to try the corncob wine. You're like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, where do I vote for the corncob wine?
Yeah, and you're like,
you don't. I brought that for fun.
So we ended up walking away from that and having a good time. Didn't win anything, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Then the following weekend, on May 4th, we brought out all of our Star Wars gear and poured in a neighborhood in Edmond area and did a similar thing. We just poured, had a great time.
That was a lot of fun.
It was
so cold out there.
It was way more fun. That was way more fun than Hoppy Camper, in my
opinion.
It
was more fun,
The people there were just a little more...
They were there to drink, man.
Yeah, it wasn't so much like a snooty thing. So
well, it's in a neighborhood, and so people like walk over from the neighborhood, like, what's going on over here?
And it was year 2 that we were there, and so people were like, oh, I remember you, and I remember this, and oh my gosh, and people like camped out at our table. That was kind of fun too.
Yeah,
enjoyed
the time.
So both of them, we walked away with a good time, not necessarily any awards.
Yeah, we were definitely in contention for the awards for Hoppy Camper, and something strange happened.
Yep.
And that's all we really know is
there was some weird stuff on both weekends.
That, yeah, as they're walking by with the cart, our cups of bottle caps had more in them than somebody who won an award, and so there's maybe some strange accounting happened there. And then there was some strange stuff that happened at Mayfest, but you ended up walking away with People's Choice, and so that's something to be proud of.
Yeah, that was fun. People loved that apple cinnamon. If you need an apple cinnamon recipe, I have one for you. If you want to go make it, I wouldn't trust the other big one that I've seen online.
Hey, the Brewing Maiden is in the chat.
Hey.
Formerly Maiden Made Mead.
She got bullied by the internet into changing. I'm sorry.
There's space for everybody, and branding is important. And so, shout out to her. She's making fun content.
What if she went with Woman Made Mead? That would have been...
Man made mead. Man, there's so many people. It's hard to say hi to everyone, but hi, everyone. Nathan says, love the Power Ranger shirt. Yeah. Thanks. Representing. Tiger Pat's here. Eddie is here, and Eddie said up a little further up, there was... Man, the chat is like really
They've
active.
Missed us, BC. Haven't got to do this in so long.
Actually, sorry, I was wrong. It was Smalls Beef said, you Smalls Beef. Where's the beef? You two got me into making my first mead. I started my first one 2 weeks ago.
What is this color?
And then Eddie says, my friend started with mead. I've made a lot of beer myself, but never mead, but I understand that nutrient scheduling is important. Is there a way you suggest figuring out how much nutrient?
We have a good friend named Larry who is often in our Discord in these, and he's spent hours and hours and hours creating a thing called meadtools.com.
.com.
It's got a recipe calculator, which is helpful. It's also got nutrient calculators, ABV calculators, sulfite, sorbate calculators, like anything you need to know. And the nutrient one, it includes how to do it, essentially, like your partitioning of the nutrients. So if you want to do that, we highly recommend to go there. Really, the layman's terms of it is take all the nutrients you need, split it out into 3 parts.
Jage says, I'm driving and listening. If I crash, I blame you for being too funny. No promises, buddy.
No promises.
Also, we only have liability insurance, so
it's true.
What did you pour us here?
I don't know. It's weird color. FP.
Oh, this is... Oh. I thought you were pouring me something good. Okay, so...
Oh, wow. Okay.
Let's put this slide up on the screen. These are our sponsors for this year's Mead Stampede.
Coming up very quickly.
Very soon. We received a Mead Stampede entry already.
Oh.
David texted me and he said, I guess it's begun. And I was like, maybe we told them to send that one in early. I don't know. But our shipping window is coming up in a month. It's coming up in June. I think it's June 15th through the end of June. And big shout out to all of our sponsors. And what some of the things we're going to taste tonight on the show are from the selections, the runners for Cattle Battle. We had 4 different batches of our cereal milk.
Wait, did I turn it off? Oh,
Lactimel.
Trying to help you out. We got a little zoop here.
Very confused. And so we're going to taste it. We're not going to tell you what we're tasting. Mm-hmm. We're going to taste through them. Oh, there, see, you had put the slide on the screen.
Might be y'all.
And so we're going to taste through them. We're not going to tell you what we're tasting, but these are the 4 different options for Cattle Battle. I'd already sent a box to Mandy. Okay. Mandy tried them, and she told us which cereals were her favorite Lactimel cereals.
This smells like the cereal. I'm going to be very vague now. I realize what I've...
The color is
distinct. It looks urine-esque.
You know, if you told me that somebody had made a Mountain Dew mead...
Oh, I know somebody who's done that.
I might believe you. Yeah, it's got a smell, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Forget about the Lactimel
viscosity.
Salinity, viscosity, like... Whoa. Caramely, toffee.
That's not bad.
Mm-mm. I just completely forgot about everything that a Lactimel was for that hot minute. It's not bad. I will say I don't pick up an incredible amount of cereal in the taste.
Well, that sure is something.
That is sure is something.
And I don't remember which ones Mandy said were her favorites. I know this one was.
Okay. We'll keep tasting these as we go along and pause to let you know. But Mead Stampede, as you were talking about, we're coming up on the registration window is open right now, so you can register your meads if you were wanting to do that. And this is not just for people who are, quote, seasoned. Like we love people who are brand new brewers.
And we've got an award for that this year.
Yeah, we've got a Rookie of the Year award that's going to go to someone who has not entered or won, I should say, not won a medal, essentially.
In a major mead competition.
In a major mead competition. So,
and it's a cool prize. It's a gallon of honey and a little wine board that will balance on the top of a bottle of wine. You can put 2 glasses on it. Yeah. Pretty
so that's
sweet little
perfect
prize
for anybody who's brand new. And that's literally, like, if you think about the amount of people who are going to enter, it's probably not a ton comparative, because we have a lot of people who do enter generally who might have won something at some point in the history, you know.
And watching them roll in, a lot of people are entering like 3 to 4, and so also it's a lot of seasoned competitors. Like I can see that it's a lot of seasoned competitors, not a lot of people entering like a single entry. So it's still competitive, but you know, anyone could win that Rookie of the Year. So
we have that.
Cool.
We have the specific the YouTuber's choices, or I don't know, is that what we're calling it? Essentially, it's the one that myself or Mandy, Faywood Mead, or BC likes the most. And we each pick our own from the whole weekend. Not specific to winning entries. It could not medal at all. And we could love it. And
we just like it.
Say, all right, no, this was it. And then you win that award. And it's really cool belt buckle with our like logo, with our names and stuff on it. And it'll go to you. It's really fun. So that's a unique one itself. Of course, there's the Best of Show, and the Best of Show is like showered with more stuff. Even we have so much stuff going to the Best of Show winner as well. So like there are so many ways you can win. We do ribbons, of course, if you want, you know, if you place. But most of all, like the competition itself is beginner friendly, and we love giving good feedback that's going to make you better. If you're seasoned, if you're new, our goal is to make your life easier and hopefully help you prepare for the next competition, whatever you're going to enter into.
So if you'd like to sponsor, you can join these folks here on the screen. Just go to meadstampede.org and go to the top navigation there, click on the sponsorship opportunities, and you can fill out that form, and it goes right to me, and we'll get you set up. it's pretty inexpensive for some of the lower level tiers, and so it's we try to make it accessible for folks who have small businesses or what have you to be a part of that. And we are incredibly thankful to all these folks who have sponsored this year, particularly Texas Longhouse Mead coming in as our presenting sponsor, Mad Equipment Company at the Cowabunga level. We've got Craft a Brew, Sidetrack Mead, Meridian Hive, and Video Games Plus at our high stakes level, Flying Bee Ranch as our utterly delightful sponsor. And then we've got sponsors for the Jamboree and individual sponsors as well. The Jamboree is our party. It's the awards ceremony that happens at the end of Mead Stampede.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got some really fun stuff planned, including we've got a selection of authentic Polish meads that just arrived this week. And so I'm excited to let y'all experiment with those and try some authentic Polish mead. Garrett, I think this thing has just happened again.
No, how does that happen?
What did we do to fix that last time?
I think you had to like dissonate. Well, I don't know what you call it. Take off the video and then turn it back on.
Is that what I had to do? Did that work? Did that work?
Oh no! Why does it do that?
Hold on, guys.
That's like a like feature. Like, did we give a thumbs up and it?
I don't know.
Happened?
Hold on, guys. We know it's frozen. Well, I think you had to like unplug the camera or something last time. Is that right?
Yep. Okay. I think there's something with Streamlabs that has like if you give a thumbs up, I think it does that. So.
Okay. Nobody thumbs up any of our stuff.
No, not you, not them. You.
I didn't.
I think if we do it, I think
I didn't.
You can thumbs up. I don't know. I unplugged and replugged. So.
It ain't working.
No.
Hold on, y'all. Oh, we're back. Okay, so you're gonna what? Okay. Well, I'm not gonna put on performance mode then, so we can see when it freezes. We had to to give y'all a little bit of inside baseball. We were using a different camera when we set up, and then we had to swap it for a different camera.
Yeah, I was trying to use my nicer camera
seconds before the show came on. So
hopefully that's not the issue. Talking about the Jamboree, so you have a bunch of Polish meads.
Yeah, we have a bunch of Polish meads, 4 different Polish meads, and they're traditional Polish
you're gonna
styles.
have 6. Those are...
I guess we'll have 6. I got 4 in the mail. He's got 2 more back here. There's Poltoraks, Dwozniaks, Trojniaks, Zworniak, I think is how you pronounce the other one. And so you can look up on Wikipedia what they are.
Yeah,
and there's a photo on the Jamboree page on our Mead Stampede website where you can look that up. In addition to those Polish meads,
I've done a huge test that will be for a video on YouTube if you can't make it there. But if you would like to taste a hopped mead, I have literally... I'm going to declare it as the world's largest and probably forever world's largest hopped mead tasting, unless some other people come out and do more. I did 40 individual hopped meads, all the same age, variety of hops, single hop, not like blending. And so I have cans and cans and cans of them that are going to be at Mead Stampede. And so they're all like this. You're not going to have to taste them all. You can. I mean, go for it. But essentially my goal is to offer people the chance to try a hopped mead in a bunch of different capacities. So I'm going to creatively come up with a way for you to help me with my video. Essentially, I need to get feedback on them. But I also want to just help people out. So it's going to be a great time. It's a lot of work, but I really enjoyed it. And
for real, go to the Mead Stampede website, look at the Jamboree page. There's a picture from Garrett of all of them lined up, and it's crazy.
It's going to be fun. And so I hope that you'll join us for that. Amongst that, there's everybody brings their own meads. You get to try a bunch of great, awesome meads from these home brewers who are just hanging around. We try stuff, of course, that's came to the competition. Every once, there's always leftover things. And we for sure hold on to the amazing stuff. So anyways.
Girl of Creativity asks, have you ever brewed or considered brewing a non-alcoholic beer?
I've 100% considered it because I think it'd be interesting, but I don't know how you actually brew it. I know the people who do it for reals have to have process where you actually get rid of the alcohol in some manner.
Yeah, and there are some yeasts. I don't think there are any that are homebrew available yet, but there are some yeasts now that have been cultivated to not produce ethanol during fermentation. And so that's an up and coming thing on the commercial side. But it can be kind of difficult to make a non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah, and make it probably taste good.
And make it taste good, yeah.
You know.
It's tough to do at the home scale. So this one, so this is the next Lactimel. Also has a very vibrant color.
Yeah, a little more green in this guy.
I don't hate that.
I don't hate it. It's very marshmallowy.
I think I like that better than the other one.
I would agree. Yeah.
Buffalo Joe says Apartment Brewer did a video on non-alcoholic beer.
Oh,
so
there you go.
check that out. Okay, so is there anything else you want to talk about before we jump into the news?
Not yet.
Okay. Let's talk about some of the brews in the brews.
We are going to our first news segment. So this is In the Brews, news from around the brewing world. So we've accumulated a ton of stories, and we're going to kind of have to fly through them and can't get too caught in the weeds because there's a lot of them happening here today. But our first one is about a man who creates his own alcohol, not necessarily like externally, but like internally. This dude makes his own alcohol in his body. It's something called auto brewery syndrome. I'm sure that some people think they had that, by their own lifestyle. But he basically has a rare condition where his body produces alcohol internally. He worked at a brewery. He was stopped by police in 2019, 2022. Each time they were like, hey, man, your blood alcohol is like really high. Yeah. But he didn't consume any alcohol. And eventually he figured out his condition, essentially.
But he's been cleared. He's been cleared of his drunk driving.
Can you imagine like getting pulled over and be like, "No, officer, I just have my own like."
Yeah, no, I make my own, man.
They're like, "What? No."
Yeah, that's crazy. Do you think like they'll have to put like a thing on his driver's license that lets the authorities know he has no control over it, or do you think like he's gonna have to like ride a bicycle?
Does he like feel drunk? Like that's the thing I wonder is like is he just like at this point used to like the feeling of being a little bit tipsy?
I mean that's how alcoholics are. I knew this one back when I was in college. She was this older lady that I had a house sitting job, and she lived in the like granny suite out there. She was like from the moment she woke up, vodka and orange juice.
Wow.
Drunk.
That's hardcore.
And she had to drink so much alcohol to get drunk because her body was just saturated with it all the time. And so, yeah, if you got like a low level,
I guess it's true. Yeah.
You probably just build up a tolerance and you don't feel it anymore.
So if you, I don't think anyone here can use that excuse. You can sure try to, but I would caution you to not try too hard with that.
Yeah.
How about this one, BC? I'm going to throw it to you. Something about our
US so I guess the U.S. wine industry is facing some economic troubles. And the question is, who's going to save it?
Who's going to save it?
Who's going to save it? Well, according to this article, it's not going to be the baby boomers.
Better like next time.
So essentially what's happening is baby boomers are aging out of the market. And they're showing less and less interest in wine, presumably because they're moving into retirement facilities. And
yeah, like you're not going to hoard a bunch of wine bottles and you're
drinking Sunny D instead. Right. And so the industry has been kind of destabilized by this. It's not like an unknown thing that the baby boomers aging up and dying is going to have an economic impact that is far spread, but now we're starting to see some evidence of like that impact on hobby industries, like wine tastings and tours and bottle clubs and all that. And so this article provides a lot more questions than it does answers, but essentially it's raising some red flags that the U.S. wine industry could be in trouble particularly because younger people aren't drinking as much wine.
Right.
And they're definitely not getting into it in the way that, people nearing retirement are getting into it, using bottles as investments, essentially.
I think they're really getting into hard honey nowadays.
Yeah. Be careful with that. So I don't know. We'll see. Oh, we're frozen again, buddy. We're frozen.
I made no thumbs up. Thank you very much. Why did it do it?
I don't know, dude. I'm telling you, maybe it's your camera. Maybe that camera's got something weird going on.
Never in the history of this camera has it
given thumbs ups?
Given thumbs up. I'm going to check this next one too, because I did watch the video, but it's been a minute since I watched it. So this is all about porter.
All about porter. So this is not a news story. This is a story from the BBC archives, and I thought this one was fun because it's like a really sentimental and poetic look back at the porter, as a style being brewed and crafted at the tap.
I did like watching him drink that, though. He had this, the way he really...
really goes in there for it.
You could tell he really enjoyed that drink.
So they're talking about Belfast, essentially. This is back, I think, in the late 70s. Porter was on the decline. And porter was, obviously it's a beer style, but it was a drink that working people drank when they were off of work. Okay, so it was having a cigarette at the end of the day, essentially. Their equivalent, right? And so it was starting to go into decline. People weren't drinking porter as much, and breweries were saying, all right, we're going to stop serving it. The real interesting thing about it is they were pouring porter from 2 kegs. So one cask was hella carbonated, as you can see here on this video. The other one was flat. So they would pour the carbonated stuff first, and then they would pour the flat stuff, and it would ride underneath. And so you're getting this blend of foam and just straight syrup porter.
Oh,
right. And so it's like this wombo combo that is crafted by the barkeep at the tap. Oh. And so it's an interesting tidbit of history, and the way the reporter reports on it's very poetic and charming. And so the link to this will be in the description of this by tomorrow. And so, go check it out tomorrow and watch this cool video from the BBC archives.
That's pretty cool.
I thought so. It was a fun look back.
When was the last time I had a porter? It's been a hot minute. I haven't had definitely not a porter like that. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, I don't I don't even know where we would find something like that around here.
All right, BC.
Yes, sir.
This next one.
Yeah.
They keep invading all the spaces. They closed the portal. Did you hear about that? The portal that was New York to Dublin. Thanks to somebody, an OnlyFans person. And yet again, they've struck. They're like an evil villain. They just keep coming back and taking over things. So this OnlyFans star, I hate even saying that, selling wine.
Star.
They're selling wine with grapes crushed by her own feet and process doing the normal process, whatever. It is not normal, I would say. I don't...
I'm not even quite...
I don't want to use her name. I'm not going to use her name. But they call it simp wine, which is bonkers.
100 euros a bottle?
And she's making Cab Sav, $100, euros, pounds, $1. Well, pounds a bottle, excuse me. And they call them simps, which is just wild to me that people are buying this stuff. That's what's scary. Is there's demand, so people are going to buy this stuff.
Yeah, I won't out this person, but another brew tuber that we know has been asked multiple times for videos of their feet crushing grapes. And I won't say who it is, but y'all cut it out.
Chill out.
That is
psychos.
Rude and weird.
If you've ever had that thought, just pause. Get off the internet for a day and then just ask yourself, what am I doing here? Why did I ask that question?
Yeah.
That's too much.
Well, we'll have to see if we can get a hold of a bottle of simp wine.
Nope. I will not do
and,
that.
we'll open
Power
it.
expanders. What a reveal.
Tastes a little footy. You know, there was you may not remember this. There was another BrewTube channel who used to rate their brews on how much they tasted like feet.
I remember this.
You do remember this?
Early on,
They were selling T-shirts.
they had a stint.
It says I think it said how footy is your fermentation or something like that. It's a real weird hill to die on.
It is pretty interesting.
All right, next up, we got another retail brick and mortar store closing down.
We could like almost time travel back to when we talked about this last time and be like, you were like, it's gonna happen again in this time period.
Yeah, I mean it's happening. This one I think this is interesting since it's MoreBeer, and most of their, I would guess, like the vast majority of their business is online anyway.
Right. Yeah.
But they're closing down as of May 19th. So 2 days from now will be the last time the Los Altos location of MoreBeer is open. So, and sayonara.
Clearance, so get ready.
Yeah, go get some Italian glass.
I just poured a little bit. I don't have a lot of tasting glasses, so. Support your local people, man.
Fun Pants says, I'll say who it is. Stop asking Carlos for feet pics. Well, R.I.P. MoreBeer Los Altos.
Quick drink break.
Oh, drink break.
This one's less weird colored.
It's also much less of a pour.
Well, I noticed you weren't killing off your lactomels over there.
I mean, lactomel is...
So, and I don't have that many tasting glasses left. So
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. I'm excited for this one.
It's got a herbal note.
So, for those of you who are joining us late, we are drinking through the lactomel options, our cereal milk lactomel options for Cattle Battle for this year's Mead Stampede. We brewed 4 different batches and tried 4 different cereals, and we're helping Mandy decide which is going to be the one.
So far, this one's the winner for me. It's got that special flavor there that gives it a little more intrigue.
Oh yeah, that's lovely.
It's very...
That is the best one.
Yeah, 100%.
That's actually really good.
Uh-huh.
That doesn't deserve to be that good. Okay. So, okay. That was this one.
Mind. Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stick that up there so we have a...
Don't reveal. Don't get it that close.
Oh, sorry. All right. So, next up in the brews. I feel like this one's relevant to you, man.
Yeah, well, what's funny about this is I was at the brew shop today talking to the guys, and they said a guy came in and was asking about making an apple mead or whatever, and a cider or something. And he started talking about apple juice. He's like, I've used like this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And I think he mentioned Martinelli's. So the story is Martinelli's recalls nearly 25,000 cases of apple juice because of elevated arsenic levels. Not a good thing you want to hear when you have
That's nuts.
So essentially, according to the FDA, if it exceeds, in the case of apple juice, if it's elevated to, the arsenic is elevated to 10 parts per billion.
Which is not much.
That's not much. That's of a flagged level, essentially. And so that basically happened, and they're being recalled from Puerto Rico, Panama, and 34 U.S. states with any production date from March 2023. So if you bought some in specifically Martinelli's apple juice,
you got that sitting around somewhere in your...
from March 2023, go ahead and dump that out.
Yeah, and it's a recall, right? So you can probably get some kind of compensation for it, maybe a voucher or something. But don't brew with it.
No.
Don't brew with it.
But I think that's interesting. I use Great Value pretty exclusively, as well as apple juice concentrate, also Great Value.
Yeah.
So I'm a believer in that stuff, and my stuff's done okay. So
I like Muselman's. I think I like that it's got all that chunky stuff in it.
I think I could definitely go higher quality for sure. I'm on this long-term desire to make my apple meads super cheap and good.
This is really kind. Kyle Ducharme says, I am drinking a Sap House spiced sizer It isn't as good as the man-made mead sizer, but it's pretty fantastic.
Oh.
That man-made mead sizer is what I'm drinking tonight.
One of my favorites to make. And I think...
Well, and I'm telling you, you're going to have to retire the jersey at some point.
I think next, I'm not going to put it anymore. I have a few more competitions.
You're killing the rest of us.
I'm putting it into for this year. That's not even to say it's that good. I think it's just... I don't know.
It's I've been talking about for a while doing a video about bliss points, and I've been really wanting to use my own brew for it. Mm-hmm. But this one is such a classic example of nailing all the bliss points that you want for a drink that appeals to the most people.
Yeah.
That I might just make my video about your recipe.
Wow.
I know. Supreme compliments over here.
One day, we're going to go commercial, and I'm hoping to put that out there, and we're going to have a lot of other options from our channels. It's going to be cool.
It's wild to go to these pouring events and have people begging you to buy your mead.
That was cool.
And having to be like, we're a homebrewer, we can't. But
right.
I can give you some bottles.
Yeah, they're like, but really, you can't sell me some? I'm like, no, I can't.
Yeah, there was, at Hoppy Camper, there was a guy who loved our mead so much. I had a couple bottles that I didn't open, and they were camping because it's a camping event. So at the end of the night, I said, come over here at the end of the night. I'll just give you bottles to take back to your campsite. So I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great.
It's cool.
All right.
You love these. You're a boycott master.
Dude, I boycott so hard. I love boycotting stuff.
Tell us about this next big boycott.
So yet again, there's another major boycott happening. The Teamsters Union is calling for a nationwide boycott of Molson Coors products, includes brands like Coors Light and Miller Lite due to a labor dispute at their Fort Worth brewery, which is just down the road from us here.
Right.
Over 400 workers have been on strike for more than a month, demanding better wages, improved retirement benefits, and maintaining health care. And the union is going so far as to suggest people drink Anheuser-Busch products instead.
Oh,
So they're like literally...
They're like, man.
Go drink the competitor's product.
That's a mutiny right there.
Pretty funny. But, workers deserve rights. Workers deserve a living wage. Workers deserve health care. And, generally the only way to get that sort of thing is to have collective action. And so don't cross the picket line. You can Google this, but the link will be in the description here. That will detail all the different brands you would avoid if you want to participate in this boycott. It's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things. But, support the worker. These are the folks who are doing what we love to do as their living.
Right.
And they should be compensated fairly for the time and effort that they put into making things that we enjoy at football games and baseball games and out on the lawn in the summer watching a movie.
Just a big old glass of Coors.
Dude, Coors Banquet, totally worth drinking.
Coors Banquet is where it's at.
Coors Banquet. All right.
Listen, I don't know about you, but you and I, how about we move to Germany? You know why, BC?
Oh, I know why. And I'm
Germany,
here for it.
Homebrewers no longer pay beer tax. I mean, how
it's
awesome
crazy
is
that they were paying a beer tax to begin with.
Yeah, we don't pay that now. That's for sure. But it would be cool to go move to Germany regardless. So it says previously homebrewers had to report production and pay taxes if they brewed more than 200 liters annually, which 200 liters is I want to say a little over 50 gallons. But now they only need to declare if they're bottling over 500 liters, which is probably like 120 something gallons. So it says this change, part of broad administrative reforms, benefits the growing numbers of homebrewers in Germany, which has tripled to 10,000 in the past decade. That's pretty cool.
That is amazing.
Homebrewing is blowing up in Germany.
Yeah, not here. But
yeah. It's actually doing the opposite.
It's in the decline here. No, I think it's great. So in Oklahoma, we're frozen again. Our audio keeps working though, right? So I'm just going to keep talking. Here in Oklahoma, we're one of the few states that requires homebrewers to have a homebrewing license.
Right.
And we don't have to pay for it, but it's the way that the state kind of keeps track of who's doing that.
Right.
And then for certain pouring events, we have to provide evidence that we have that licensure. So our tax commission, the Able Commission, doesn't come after you.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And so I don't know how I would react if the Oklahoma state government told me that I had to pay a tax for the beer and meat I'm making in my own house. And you had to
also report production too and things.
Yeah. Can you imagine making a report to the Able Commission on that? You know?
Don't worry about it, guys.
Okay.
Only, and
just imagine the paperwork of all 40 of your hopped meads with their like ingredients and details and cost per batch.
I'd be like, here's my Google Doc. Just follow it along. Just, you can check out the dates. Like,
so ridiculous. All right. I think there's one more story.
I'm going to let you take this one. I know you really like Namibia. Last time we talked, you were like, man, my favorite place is...
There's a lot going on in Namibia, and I really appreciate their hustle over there. So this is a group of university scientists from Cardiff University. They have brewed a beer from yeast that they cultivated directly off of Africanized honeybees. And so, essentially they took these bees, they got yeast off them, they swabbed them, they cultured this into a yeast that they could brew with, and they made a few batches of beer. And it's the overarching project it's called Pharma Bees, and they're trying to develop drugs to treat superbugs and antibiotic resistance. And so this was just like kind of an experimental venture into that
what
kind
can
of work.
We do?
Yeah. And so, I linked this on my Discord server, and folks were like, well, what about a Killer Bees mead? You should reach out to them and get some yeast from them.
You ever seen that Mad Honey?
So,
you want to make a Mad Honey
mead? So, maybe we should shoot an email to Cardiff University and see if they'll send us I'm
all for it.
A yeast
I had a friend yesterday. He was someone who helped me do the hopped hopped bottling. And he was like, dude, I'll pay for the honey. Just like get some of that Mad Honey and like let's make something. You don't even have to do a video on it. I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, man. That
also I don't know, like, you're just playing with fire. It's like the people I saw somebody who did, was it Red Bull? They fermented like a gallon of Red Bull essentially. I'm like, and made mead basically.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's gonna kill you. Can you imagine just downing a full 12-ounce thing of 15%? It's like a Four Loko. If anybody knows of a Four Loko from when it was not as legal.
Well, I was a lot younger when Four Loko came out. We're at an interesting time and I have to talk about this carefully because of how YouTube likes to demonetize videos. But controlled substances in America, there are a lot of loopholes that people are exploiting, including like the Farm Bill loophole. But there are magic mushroom gummies available now that are made from mushrooms that are not illegal. Mm-hmm. And there's Mad Honey and things like that. And we're at a really interesting place in America where I think like it's a little bit of the Wild West when it comes to these sorts of experiments. And I don't necessarily know that all of them need to be a thing. But I'm also not the one making them, so whatever, I guess. All right, which one?
My reaction was not to what you're saying, but to this one.
What was the... I think this was one that Mandy said was one of her favorites.
Okay.
Oh, that smells putrid. Did you smell it before you drank it, or did you just go in?
I smelled it, and
it smells like peach pits.
Yep. Did we have the same bottle? I don't know if we had the same bottles.
Maybe we didn't have the same bottle, but this almost tastes soured.
Mm-hmm. Something.
Maybe a bug got in it.
Something's funky.
Don't love that. This one also has hella sediment in it, so
that cereal is hanging around.
Yeah, I think my vote is for this one.
Yep, 100%.
We'll have to see what We'll have to look at what Mandy said. I don't want to usurp her, but that one's definitely my favorite. Probably followed by this one.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty
Okay.
mid, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're nearing a choice.
In the brews, that was our stuff from around the brewing world. Now, part of our YouTube world is like it's been a while since you've caught up with us. So BC, what have you been brewing in your world?
Well, so today I put out a recipe for my coffee mead, and you've had it.
Mm-hmm. It was good. I remember trying it and being like, "It's one of the best coffee meads it had," because it was interesting. It was like it wasn't just like acidic coffee. It had the garam masala and all those other characters that made it more than just like, oh, here's coffee mead, you know. Like,
yeah. So that's a recipe that I've been working on since October, and I'm fairly happy with it. It won a 3rd place medal last weekend. This freaking guy won 1st place with this delicious mead. I mean, and I think, I don't actually have any resentment. I enter competitions for the fun of it. I don't really care about the awards or where I place. But I do definitely take issue with something like an apple cinnamon hydromel being placed in the same category as a garam masala coffee sack mead. It just does not feel right.
Spiced and specialty. That's what the thing back here. I don't think you can see
frozen again.
Is you'll see on the screen is a like the 1st place trophy. One? The chap handle.
This?
Yeah. They put it in spiced and specialty. Yeah, it's definitely not fair to be like, here's the.
I mean, our 2 entries couldn't be further apart from each other.
I can't imagine tasting them back to back. You'd be like, what on earth?
Yeah, that would be a big shock to your palate for sure.
But yours is really good.
Thank you.
I really like that.
I kind of thought about.
I watched the video today and I was like, I gotta make this, and then I went, I don't have the space. That was my problem. I was like, I have too much.
You can do a 1 gallon batch.
Yeah. Now that I have the space, I had all those 40 gallons, or half gallons, I should say, hidden for a while there, so I could definitely do it.
Yeah, I'm very pleased with that. I've got, hopefully the video will be out next week. I have been working on a hard seltzer recipe that is a no brew recipe.
Oh, okay.
So Brewlosophy, you might be familiar with. They, during COVID, released their recipe for what they call Brew Claw. And it's basically vodka, water, and brewer's best flavoring put into a keg and carbonated. And I made it, and I didn't love it.
Yeah.
And I didn't hate it, but I just didn't love it. It wasn't like, I wasn't like, I need more of this. And so then I tried a version where I repurposed my citrus soda syrup recipe to be a hard seltzer, and I didn't love that either. Like, something weird happened where after the keg had aged for like a month, all the zest flavor became very like gritty and earthy.
Weird.
It was kind of gross. And so I played around with it here and there, and finally I have nailed what I think is the best low calorie, low cost kegged hard seltzer that uses very few ingredients. And I'm not going to spoil it, but it's unique. And it'll be on the channel hopefully next week. I'm trying to get David over to do the tasting portion for that. What have you been brewing?
In this moment, I don't remember what it's in the past. I've got a bunch of content I'm sitting on, so all the things I'm saying right now are not going to be relevant for another 3 or 4 months. So. But I have things I'm excited about. I've got a no water blueberry mead that I really like. That's really good. I've done a boysenberry, strawberry and lemon, which
I tried that earlier.
You tried that and helped me with the video today. I'm starting a grapefruit mead, which is something I haven't done in a hot minute, which is fun. I'm about to start a bunch of projects. My goal over the summer, in the next 2.5 months, is to get 30 to 35 videos produced.
Holy smokes.
Because, I don't think it's this official announcement, because I don't think anybody knows, but in September I'm having a kid, and my life's about to get real busy.
You guys gonna put up a virtual baby shower thing where people can send you stuff.
Maybe.
Dude,
I didn't think about that at all.
When we were live streaming regularly was when Anna was pregnant, and people sent in so much stuff. It was really incredible. The community just showered us with baby stuff.
Maybe.
And some of that stuff we're still using.
Maybe if people were willing to do it.
No pressure. No pressure.
Yeah. So my goal is before this kid shows up, I want to get a bunch of videos. And
that's a good idea because you're going to be hecka busy, dude.
I'm assuming that it's going to be busy. So if I can stockpile 30, right now I've got like 14 or 15. If I could do by the end of the summer 30, that gets me through like literally almost middle of next year at one a week.
Yeah.
Without having to think about it. That's still being able to brew.
You should do that because you're going to be very busy. My child is very excited that you're going to have a child and has been asking about your wife about once or twice a week.
That's sweet.
Tell me about Lucy. Tell me about Lucy. It's like, okay. I mean, there's not really much to tell you.
Still there.
Yeah.
Still same thing.
It's very cute. She's very, very excited that she's going to have a little friend.
On that note, with me doing so many videos, if you have things that you would like me to do that you haven't seen on the channel yet, hop in my Discord and at me and send me a message or something and say, hey, I really think you should do this because I'll add it to the list. I want to do a lot of tests. Recipes don't really hit all that well nowadays, as I'm noticing. People want to do tests.
It's true.
So, I did one test I am excited to do, and I'm going to have you and maybe David help me eventually, is nutrients. I did a staggered versus all up front versus no nutrient test.
There's a lot of congratulations in the chat, so
that's fun.
People thinking about you.
Oh, I will eventually have y'all try those. And
love that.
Forever, because I see that question a lot. People are like,
"Does gonna drink from the bottle?
Does nutrient when you add your nutrient matter? Does it change the flavor?" So I can get you.
Yeah, here. So, Eric from Broken Arrow, which is a town in Oklahoma. Actually, I lived 5 years of my life in Broken Arrow as a small child. He's starting a meadery up that way, and he came to hang out with us at Hoppy Camper and brought me a couple bottles of their meads. Yeah. So I said, hey, let's try them on the show. So I brought them over tonight. This is their Orange Blossom Honey, Blackberry and Lavender, bottled in July of 2023.
That's good.
Is it? Love the color. Oh, that is an unusual aroma.
You really get the orange blossom. You get a lot of that blackberry. The lavender's soft, which I appreciate because lavender can be overdone real fast. So,
yeah, that's good. It's very smooth.
It needs a little more tannin.
Yeah, but it's very smooth. I mean, I guess it was bottled a year ago, so that tracks. But that's very good. The lavender's really well done. The blackberry is there. It's kind of jammy without being cloying.
Right. That's
very well balanced. Well done.
We got another one we'll try in a second. We're kind of going through the gauntlet right here.
Yeah, we got a lot going on down here under the table. So should we jump into social media stuff, or do you have?
We got
to move.
Gotta keep going.
Let's real quick acknowledge these amazing folks who are the members and patrons of my channel. Thank you so much for supporting the work we do at Doing the Most.
And these are my peoples as of however long ago I sent this list. So if you're not on the list, it was not intentional. I have not sent an updated one to BC, but it's probably right. So thank you to these people. It's so important for these people to help us and so helpful because our channels don't necessarily get a lot of money for your views. I'm sure we could both pull up our money from our most recent videos, and I bet we could play the game of who broke $10 and we both be wrong. So
you want to do it? You have your phone on you?
Let's
do it.
I got rid of YouTube Studio, so I don't know if it'll let me do it on.
Oh, let's see.
Let's see.
How do I even look at that?
It's on YouTube Studio.
Their performance. Yeah. Okay, yep. So my video from 3 weeks ago on fixing common mead problems, 3,500 views, generated $15.10. So I broke 10.
There you go.
But yeah, YouTube pays nada. So thank you for being a member. If you want to join our channel, you can just click join right below this video. Become a member.
I can tell you mine. Just 1 second. I forgot I have my computer in front of me. I got rid of YouTube Studio, and it's been amazing.
It's good for your mental health.
I have, for anyone who's curious, if I haven't responded to your posts, it's because I literally don't have any way to do it on my phone easily. So I've been enjoying the
that's your monthly
simplicity of not looking at comments.
There we are.
So this is from yesterday. Mm-hmm. My video accruing about 2.4 thousand views. $10.56.
$10.56.
And I'll tell you, that video took more than $10.50 to produce.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
I have noticed, oddly enough, and I knew this was going to happen, when you go, I don't want to say dormant, but when you don't respond to comments as quick or you don't interact on YouTube as much, I think there's a little bit of like less of a push. And I felt that on my channel. Because I haven't been responding to comments immediately. It's been like 3 or 4 days later.
I have a pretty rigid don't read the comments policy after about 24 hours because for my mental health, I don't need to read all the rude stuff people say about me or criticize about me. We're paused again on the screen. So I just don't read them, and I definitely believe that is a big contributor to my channel's slow growth, but I also don't want to sacrifice my mental health for clicks. So
yeah,
I just won't.
After doing this for like 7 years, you have to like find the balance.
All right, so this is our segment we call This Month in Brewing, and it's kind of some social media shenanigans from around the internet. And so we look at, homebrew talk, winemaking talk, Facebook groups, Reddit, Instagram, and try and find fun stuff from around the internet to show you all. And
this first one's really interesting. I mean, they're all interesting, but this one especially, it's cracking up a 100-year-old wine that's like legit encased in its own thing, pot, whatever this is, which is interesting how they sealed it in the first place. Like, as you watch them unearth it, whatever this is. It's
real gross looking.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, I love the cut. Love how it cuts at here's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, what does this taste like?
Yeah. So yeah, that's just like this clay pot that the wine has been in. It looked relatively clear.
Yeah.
Presumably it's protected from outside air fairly well. I don't know how much micro oxygenation a clay container like that gets. But interesting presentation. Are you going to do a video on this maybe? I'm
going to go in my backyard.
Throw some pottery, put some clay in it.
I'll do it for a year. I did that with a cymbal for drums.
You buried it in your yard?
So what I did was someone told me if you put a metal cymbal in earth, it darkens it because of sitting in the earth for a year. So I did that as this 15-year-old kid. I literally got this cymbal. It was junker. I mean, it was it came with my original drum set, no labels, nothing. It was junk.
Nice.
So I was like, I'm just gonna put it and see what happens. So I did that. I buried it. Not really that big of a difference, to be honest. But I'm imagining 100 years so.
Yeah, go bury one in your yard. Let your great grandkids dig it up.
Maybe they could do something with it. So BC, what kind of yeast do you use? Because this person's asking.
I thought this was a fun question.
Mm-hmm.
How many types of yeast do you use? Because if you asked me this question 4 years ago, I would have been like, I can't count how many. I'm using a different yeast every week. What are you talking about?
Right.
But now that COVID's over and video production's down, I'm not live streaming all the time.
Right.
I've kind of gotten into my groove of a few different yeasts I use, and it's probably 4 or 5.
I default to USO5 a lot now. That becomes a pretty standard. Ever since I did the test, the traditional test, I was like, this works well. And I did it with a couple fruited meads, and it's a solid yeast.
Yeah, USO5, Kvike Voss, EC1118, K1V1116, D47, RC212. Those are kind of my standbys.
I was telling the brew shop guys earlier because they were asking me about apple meads, and they're like, what kind of the person that came in to ask was asking what kind of yeast to use, and I realized a couple days ago. I was like, I use K1V1 in there, not necessarily because it's like great with apples, but because it's semi-vigorous and that like sulfury kind of flavor sometimes you get with apples post fermentation.
Yeah.
Is blown out more rapidly.
Oh, interesting.
And so I was like, oh, okay. Like it obviously does well with fruited meads, but like I don't think it's all that. This is a Polish mead.
Okay.
Sent overseas.
Woo! What style is this?
This, well, it's a sizer. So
Okay.
And it
smells like nuts. It does. It smells nutty. Doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
I mean, it's got like some sherry notes. Some
Definitely does.
pecan praline kind of.
I'm trying to find my
aromatics in
friend's
there.
name who sent me this because he was so gracious enough to ship it overseas. I mean, that was quite the beast.
That is unusual.
Whoa. Very, like, dark apple. Very,
Yeah,
I mean, it's good.
like roasted apple.
Uh-huh.
Makes me want to do a roasted apple mead, maybe for like a holiday spice mead. You know, I tried a roasted pear mead.
It does have a Perry side. Yeah.
From someone on the Discord server that I hung out with when I was at CiderCon, and it was really good. Like it was really good, and I was like kind of hungover, and the weather was just awful. And he sent it back to me with me to my hotel room because I had an early flight the next day. So I'm sitting in the hotel room. I'm watching like reruns of ridiculousness on MTV. And I pop this thing open and I'm like, I'm hungover and I'm exhausted and I have an early flight, but I'm finishing this bottle.
I'm done. Yeah.
And I did. It was really solid.
I can't find the email between me and him, which I'm sorry.
Can I look at
I
the
hope
bottle?
he's watching.
So it's very earthy, very nutty. Apple is all in the exhale, but it's like roasted apple skins is that flavor.
I mean, it's good. It's definitely
Oh, this
hot.
is not in English.
Yes,
So
I was going to say,
this
don't...
is pointless for me to be looking
Yeah, I don't
at.
know
I'll
why
just
you went for it, but...
I'll just pretend I'm reading this. Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh. Love the bottle. This is delicious.
It's very good.
It is not what I expected. It's not what I wanted, but I'm still really happy about it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
14.5%.
That'll be a fun one to share with friends.
Hold on to it. Well, that just happened, BC.
Well, that just happened. Oh yeah. So this is for you, man. This is firmly
This is in honor of my announcement.
and firmly for you. So you have to kind of watch what happens here.
Uh-huh.
She goes for the glass.
Uh-huh.
She salvages it. Boom. And so you need to watch this. Just turn the sound on. Watch it again with the sound on, because this is a experience I've had many times as a parent to it.
Mama, no! Baby, no! Randy, no! Why would you do that?
You will find yourself trying to reason with a 2-year-old, my friend, and that's impossible.
I think... I don't want to... I'm going to eat my words, I think.
You are. Everybody's a really incredible parent until they have kids.
My thing is, I've dealt with middle schoolers. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm almost desensitized to, like, chaos.
Okay. Wait until
I mean,
that
I'm
kid
definitely
finds
gonna,
their
like-
way into this room.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't know how many airlocks my child has ripped off of stuff. It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I found one the other day. The airlock was just empty. And I'm not sure who cracked it, but it had a big old crack down the side. And so obviously at some point it just drained, but I'm pretty sure a little tiny toddler hand grabbed that
Little tiny toddler.
full force. Anyway, I found that video incredibly relatable. The other thing you're going to notice when you're a parent is that all your social media apps will learn that you're a parent and start feeding you reels and content that are incredibly relatable in a way that you would have you would have just swiped away a year ago.
Okay.
But now I'm like, I see like a punk rock band playing the Bluey theme song, and I'm like, "Ooh, Anna's got to see this. This is good stuff." Why? Who even am I anymore?
You're a Bluey fan, man.
I used to be cool. I used to be into Power Rangers. Now I watch Bluey and Daniel Tiger.
I hear Bluey slaps though.
You know, it's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. If you compare it to like Pinkalicious and Daniel Tiger,
I don't know this, so
and
I know Bluey
and Dora the Explorer, Bluey is like it's way up here. It's S tier.
I want to see a children's TV show tier list by BC. It'll be in his Discord. We'll
I might just do that, man. Don't tempt me. I'm exposed to so much stuff. But you know what I'll tell you? Mr. Rogers just transcends time.
Yeah.
Just as an adult, I sit and watch Mr. Rogers and I'm like, you get it, buddy. You get it. So, I don't know. I'm sure you'll have plenty of opinions. I'm going to bring you some WD-40 the next time I come up here.
Yeah.
A little squeaky. Okay, so you're going to notice that the user deleted their post.
Yes, I just noticed that.
For this next one.
But you had it still.
I saved a copy of it. So, yeah, I mean, the title of this says it all. This is somebody whose family owns an orchard, and when they can't sell apples, they just throw them all out in the field.
That's crazy.
That is the American
That's a lot of
capitalist
apples.
hellscape we live in.
That almost looks AI generated. Like,
it's sad. It's sad. And yeah, they deleted their post, but we'll still put the link up to it. I'm guessing that somebody in the family was like, "Why are you airing our dirty laundry on Reddit?" But there's a lot of really interesting comments in there about food waste and you know, American economics and
yeah, it's wild.
all the things that lead to that. But it's really sad. It's disappointing that, you know, something like that can be made into hundreds of gallons of cider is just out there rotting. So this next story is all you, man.
This one, so there's a new thing. This is as of like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. I feel like it was something that popped up. So I don't even know how you say it necessarily, to be honest. Phenylalanine.
Sure.
Phenylalanine? I don't know. So, anyways, it's a new powder substance that has been touted to change the world of mead making.
Yeah.
For lack of better terms. So this article says high levels of phenylalanine during fermentation have been demonstrated to provide honey flavor to beer through increased production of flavor compound known as phenyl. I don't know how to say these things. Acetate. See references. Can we use this to make more honey notes in mead? And so essentially the whole article and everything about it is talking about using it specifically in mead to help continue to highlight honey character post fermentation, to continue to keep that without having to work as hard for or worry about it, I guess, as much.
Yeah.
There's not really a lot of research on it. There's just like this theory.
Yeah, and they did a very small scale blind triangle test of some kind.
Yeah. And I mean, here's the thing. Anytime you put up big words like this flavonoids and stuff that he talks about in this, you're like, whoa, okay, oh, yes. Oh, I mean, he must know what he's talking about.
He's using science words after all.
And I mean, it could be true. Very well
I
true.
also know some science words.
So the experiment
I'm also kind of a scientist myself.
Experiment was to do 2 dry meads, have one with this new thing, and then one not without it, you know, and do a triangle test. And so they did all the stuff. They made it. The results were, according to this, that 96.2% of the time people preferred the phenylalanine meads over the one without it after 26 volunteers. So, who knows? Maybe it is true. I think there are people doing it like on their own independently. So I'd be curious to hear what people actually experienced rather than what the author of the article experienced, because I think it can be dangerous to assume they're always honest.
A few things about this. The website that this is on used to sell mead kits, and now they sell mead ideas, or maybe they don't sell anything at all. I'm not quite sure.
And they sell this stuff too.
So Bray is known for his Bray's 1 month mead recipe, and then has been chasing that dragon ever since. And he regularly announces major scientific advances in mead that the community kind of just goes, yeah, sure, maybe. And so this is one of those. And I think one of the most important things to highlight about this is that some people have a severe allergic reaction to consuming this compound. And so for me personally, like I have a kiwi allergy. He tried to kill me with it once. I
almost got him too.
I'm very hesitant to try things like that are listed as allergens because I don't know if it's also going to be a trigger for anaphylaxis for me. So it's just something to keep in mind. Odds are you don't have that allergy, but there's a world where you do, and that this could hurt you. And, you know, just your mileage may vary, use with caution, but there are people out there experimenting with it, and I'm sure 6 months to a year from now we'll have more data on whether or not this is real or if it's just more of that thing Bray likes to do.
The thing is, it's not gonna bring more people into the hobby. Something like this, in fact, I think will take more people out of the hobby when you make it more complicated. Like, think about the first reactions to people's reactions to like staggered nutrients.
Yeah.
You remember when like that really kind of started to be big and people were like, I felt like there was an exodus of new brewers because they were like, I don't want to do that. That's like so much. Like, I just want to.
I have to open the top and put something in it 3 times.
Yeah. Well,
That's
it's not hard.
It's outrageous.
And maybe that's the same way with this. Maybe this is truly revolutionary and like there is something happening there. But also it's more stuff for people to buy. More powders. And then they're just going to get more afraid and we're just kind of
I'm interested to try a head-to-head with this. I'm not interested enough to spend my own money on it. You have folks like Kyle in the chat who are profound mead makers, and Kyle says it doesn't make a difference. And so, like, I'm gonna trust somebody like Kyle, who I know,
right, who makes really good mead,
phenomenal mead, over some guy who's trying to sell me a thing on the internet. So, you know.
There was a blow up for a while there, too, where people were like backlash, and he was in the comments, not Kyle, the original author was in the comments being like, defending. And you're like, okay, I understand. But also, like, something about coming to your own defense in comment sections, which is a new thing nowadays, is just not smart. Just like let it ride.
Yeah.
Like let people roast you because you're not gonna win.
Well, and as with everything, extraordinary claims. I cannot speak. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. The evidence is not provided. There's just some like anecdotal small scale testing, and so we just caution about any of these major mead developments that they may be smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
And so if you feel inclined, give it a try. It's out there. I don't think we need to litigate it any more than we have.
I sent you this last one pretty soon, or pretty quick. Yesterday?
Yesterday. I got it.
So this video is funny to me. I thought it was funny. It was this lady basically saying, she's like, first 1 day drinking mead and it's her holding some, and then like 2 days, and then 3 days or whatever, it's like 48 hours later, then she's in a medieval beekeeping suit, and then it's like 5 years later and it pops to her and she's got like her own bees and she's like making doing beekeeping so she can keep making mead. But the first part's funny to me, like, hey, I tried mead, and then it's like it pops to however long later and she's holding a glass carboy. It's like that's pretty much the progression. You're like, I like this.
That's how it starts.
Oh, okay. I'm now making gallons of it at a time.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
So I thought that was funny.
Good stuff. If you like come across anything like this on the internet and you want to recommend it for the show, we have a Discord channel on the Man-Made Mead Discord for Homebrew Guys where you can drop recommendations for stuff we'll feature in the show. And generally we will, because we're always looking for fun content to feature here on the Homebrew Guys.
Now, I do think we'll open up a little bit of a can of worms. And I would love for this to be a topic not necessarily just spoken to by us, but people in the comment section or / chat right now. But earlier I mentioned people coming to their own defense in comment sections.
Did I try
especially?
this one yet? Interesting.
And that's been a recent venture for specifically Golden Hive Mead, who's wildly popular on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and those things. As he's come under fire for lots of different things. And I know that the most recent one has been his mead kits, specifically, and the pricing on them. So most people were pretty upset by the expense of honey. Like he promoted a 3 pounds of honey for 12, was it?
Oh, it was like $41.
Yeah, it's something like over $10 a pound, and
It was $15 a pound.
Doubled down on price point, and then got involved with the parent company, who also doubled down and defended. And essentially, what it perpetuated was this cyclical, like, they think they're right, everybody else, the public opinion, it thinks one thing. And I think that's the first time I feel like brewing community has truly banded together.
Yeah, there was a rally for sure.
To be like, no, you're wrong. There wasn't a lot of people coming to their defense.
No.
Which was like kind of refreshing.
Well, and to be clear, a lot of the people who were coming to their defense, oddly, their accounts were created the same day.
Oh, yeah.
And had no post history, which is an unusual practice I haven't experienced before on the internet.
Yeah. So, like, I've learned, at least, if I were to come under fire for that, I'm not going to try and just defend myself vehemently. Like, and not to say that you shouldn't at all, but I think in truth, like, the people on the internet have a public opinion of you.
Yeah, and generally people on the internet are stupid.
I mean, up to a certain extent, though, like, people aren't dumb enough to be like, this is normal.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, like, a lot of the negative feedback we get is from stupid people trying to get a rise out of us. Yeah. It's not from, like, legitimate homebrewers. It's not from people in our community. It's generally not from people who subscribe to our channels. It's just stupid people just trying to make waves somewhere on the internet. And you and I generally just ignore those people because we know that they're stupid and they're trolls.
You had some in your comment section today.
Yeah, I know. I sure did. And you ignore it, water off a duck's back, and move on. This was a circumstance where the people were right.
Yeah.
And the doubling down just made things worse.
I think my overarching issue with where mead making is right now with people like Golden Hive and, like, the things that are popular is that you and I have spent years now cultivating, in hopes, a more centric opinion of mead. This honey-based beverage that can be, it could go down this genre, and for the most part we play in the sandbox 80% of the time of, like, fruits and spices and honeys. Then we have our silly stuff. I'll throw candy and things in there, but, like, I want to mostly highlight what mead is at its core, what it was a long time ago, theoretically. Unfortunately, the new popular thing is not that. It's turned into all the candies and all the sodas, and I find that extremely frustrating, because people who are first time getting into the hobby, and then you make a Dr. Pepper mead as your first thing, I just feel like you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's fine for people to experiment and make wacky stuff. If you want to ferment Mountain Dew, go for it. What I have a problem with specifically is the teaching of bad practices, of telling somebody that they should buffer their pH with baking soda, which is an absurd idea when things like calcium carbonate exist at your local brew shop. There's no reason to be adding the flavor of sodium into a mead. But also price gouging people for stuff when those people may not know any better. They may not know that kit is not worth $90, but they trust you. And then you rip them off while also telling them how to do things wrong.
Yeah.
And you're satisfied because you made the sale. You don't care. But for them, what that may mean is they never go back to making mead again.
Right.
They may be burned on the whole process of homebrewing. And that's the thing you and I have been fighting for years.
I was going to say, that's been a problem since other channels have come out and done bad practices and stuff. And it's like, a lot of people combat that with, like, it's not a bad practice because it still produces an okay thing. And it's like, the truth is the beginners who are making these things who are way more impressionable than the
Yeah.
person who's made 2 or 3 are doing this, having a bad outcome, and never doing it again.
Yep, just walking away.
And most of those beginners never really try mead outside of their own. So then you make your own stuff. You make a bad batch, and you go, that's what mead tastes like? Man, that sucks. I don't ever want to drink that. I don't want to buy it again. I don't want to make it again. It's frustrating. And I think that's what's most concerning to me here.
Yeah, and the feedback that we have seen from some of the defenders is that Garrett and I are jealous or envious of the success, and
man.
I think the best retort I can make to that is if I wanted to be TikTok famous, I would have a TikTok account, and I don't. I choose not to use it. And if I wanted to be Instagram famous, I would post on Instagram more than once or twice a month, right?
Yeah.
It's not about that at all. It's about the fact that we love this hobby. We love making mead. We love what mead can be and inspiring and encouraging people to make good stuff. And what we don't like is seeing the P.T. Barnum out there looking for a bunch of suckers to rip off because the algorithm decided that their content was trendy this month.
Yeah.
It's unethical, it's wrong, and they know it's wrong. And
I don't think that's true. I don't think they know. I think they're stuck.
They have been told directly by me via email that it's wrong
Right.
in 2,500 words. And so they should know it's wrong because I cited my freaking sources. But even if they don't know it's wrong,
Right, yeah,
even
yeah,
if
yeah,
they
I got
somehow
you.
believe
Yeah.
it's right, it's still wrong because there are better options out there. And it is, I think, unconscionable to be a defender of Golden Hive and these practices in the comments saying, well, if somebody wants to spend $90 for a kit, they can, because what you're leaving out is the fact that these folks may not do any more research beyond watching those videos because trust has been built.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's not about the fame. It's not about the metrics or the analytics or the sales numbers, like the volume of sales numbers. It's the price. And it's charging $6 for a recipe. It's charging $15 for a pound of honey. It's charging $90 for $35 worth of gear. It's, if you want to make a buck in this hobby, do it, but just do it fair. That's really all I'm trying to
feel
say
like,
on the
for a
topic.
long time, I definitely, quite honestly, tried to chase the views thing. And that's what perpetuated this, like, struggle with YouTube, in that, like, I never really found joy because I wasn't hitting a view marker. If my video wasn't exceeding X views, then I was like, man, I failed. And it was so toxic. And I think that's what these people are getting themselves into, is like, if my video isn't more than 10,000 views, then it's not successful. And it's really tough to get yourself out of that gutter. Like, what I've learned, especially after 7 years now, like, I have a couple of videos that have couple 100,000 views. That number could say 30 million. And I don't think that would truly change, to me, any, like, true feelings of what's happening there.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's still a number. Because, like, I would look at 30 million and go, it could be 40. You know what I mean? I could have 40 million views.
Yeah, I was telling the folks on my Discord server the other day that the thing for me is I do this as a hobby.
Yeah.
It's fun. I like to make videos because it's fun. And I dream of a world where making videos is my full-time job. And maybe it will be someday. But what I like to do is do my projects, show you how I did it. If it's a success, I like to talk about how you can replicate that success. And I like to share it with folks. And that's really all I get out of it.
Yeah.
And you can see that on my channel because I try not to lean into, shitty AI generated thumbnails and clickbait titles and cliffhangers and all that. I just show you my stuff and it's just fun for me. And I just want other people to have the fun in the hobby that I'm having. And if they're spending $150 to make their first 1 gallon batch of mead,
Yeah.
they have been burned already. And if it turns out bad, that's a real bad time.
I really find it funny that, like 4 or 5 years ago, we were in the boat where, myself included, every once in a while I'll make a 1, 2, 3 part video. And that was the standard, and
It was the style back then.
we got away from that, right?
Because we respect our viewers' time.
Now we have TikTok, Instagram, where you cut things up into 12 parts.
Yeah.
And it's like, come back tomorrow for part number 2 of 12. And there's a loyalty now that's a new social thing towards those people. Like,
Yeah, it's a parasocial relationship.
yeah.
It's believing that you're friends with the person behind the screen and they don't know anything about you. They don't know you at all.
Right.
And, you know, I don't want to talk too negatively about the format of Instagram Reels or TikTok because I think there is value there if it's used effectively. And, you know, if somebody has to subscribe to your TikTok and come back 12 times to see the whole thing, as long as you do it in like an appropriate amount of time and they can find the follow-up videos and you're teaching them good practices, whatever. That's, you know, it's a platform for a very specific type of viewer, and I get that.
Yeah.
Still, for me, it goes back to ripping people off.
Yeah.
Or teaching them how to, you know, create a microbial incubator that could spawn all kinds of nasty molds and botulism and whatnot because you're buffering your pH and throwing a Campton tablet in at the same time you're pitching your yeast. Like, it's just all around a recipe for a bad time.
I personally, you know, I feel bad a little bit for the guy at Golden Hive. Mostly, and this is like, I don't know if he's listening or if he will listen, but I think that the truth is he is putting himself in a boat where that is his new identity. Nobody's going to ever remember him for his other mead recipes he's made. He will forever be known, or for a long time known, as Mountain Dew mead guy.
Yeah.
Or Dr. Pepper mead guy. And I say that with experience of Amaretti. You know, like, Amaretti is still quality stuff. I know, I'll admit it is great stuff, but I became that guy for a long time. I was the Amaretti person. And unfortunately, it's a really hard hole to dig yourself out of, and people don't take you seriously for a long time because that's who you were.
Yeah.
So my encouragement to him is, like, I would pivot your content, and I would really focus on, if you want to be taken more seriously and not just like momentary fame of whatever's happening, like, everybody who is caring about the mead community wants a figurehead who is going to push people towards quality mead that is going to be repeatable.
Yeah.
That's going to be something that they share with their friends. That's not just a novelty thing. That is like a new mead or a new brew style that's like going to hit the markets, because we still want meaderies to pop up.
Yeah.
So like that's what I would say is, like, pivot your stuff, man, and work a little harder to, like, change your figure ahead a little bit. The fame is cool, and all the news articles that are shared are cool, but, like, it's momentary.
Yeah, well, and TikTok fame is momentary.
Yeah.
I've told the story of a family member of mine many times who experienced TikTok fame of within a few weeks going from no subscribers to 500,000 subscribers, and then suddenly TikTok just stopped serving her content.
Right.
And so she's pushing out all this content, daily content, and no one's watching it because TikTok's algorithm just turned it off.
Right.
And so that can happen. But I think the takeaway for me, or the closing thoughts for me, is reflective of what was said directly to him on Reddit the first time this all bubbled up, is to be better. Be a better advocate for mead. If you have been given this gift by the algorithm to be in the limelight right now, don't use it to make crap and price gouge people and ruin your own reputation for clicks. Use it to be a standards bearer for what mead can be, even if you're only practicing the simplest of best practices. It's much better than teaching people how to do it wrong and ripping them off and turning them off of mead forever.
We're playing the long game. I think that's the truth. It's like, at the end of the day, BC and I are in this for the long haul. And I'm pretty sure you share the same sentiment as me. And you want your channel to be an encyclopedia.
It's a legacy.
Yeah. You want our knowledge to be something that people can come back to 20 years from now, if YouTube's still around, and do those things. So who knows? I also think that all the shorts and stuff, like the short form content, will never be long. Like 20 years from now, you're not going to find that one of the 12 part, series. So it's a dangerous game. So I worry about the mead community at large because it's growing in a, I don't want to say not positive, but it's not growing in the manner that like we've been pushing for a long time, where we want it to be.
And I don't necessarily know that the mead community needs to go where we want it to go.
Yeah.
But I think that there is a reason there is a standard set of styles and best practices and recommendations for beginners. And there is a reason why we espouse those things.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why Golden Hive and others like him do different things. And it's because it is a lot easier to catch those quick clicks. And in a format like Instagram or Twitter or TikTok, you're not really held to any accountability. You don't have to answer comments. If you do rage baity stuff like the mead made from Mountain Dew or Dr. Pepper, you get the people telling you you're wrong, and you get the people arguing with them that it's fine to experiment, and all that engagement boosts you in the algorithm.
Yeah.
It's just like the people who get out a chafing dish and put dry spaghetti in the bottom of it and put a block of cheese on top of it and stick it in the oven. They're doing that because they know you're going to get in the comments and say, that's not how you make spaghetti.
Yeah.
It's all rage bait, and there's no accountability. And so it's different from a YouTube format where we feel like we've got to curate content because somebody is going to Google how to make a blueberry mead. And if they find your video, you want them to do it right.
Right.
But it's different on those short form platforms. And I think respecting the audience is an important place of growth for Golden Hive, where he could maybe seek some more emotional maturity in how he deals with his audience. And that's the last thing I'm going to say on it.
Yeah.
I don't dislike the guy. I've honestly, I think I've maybe seen one of his videos, maybe two of his videos. I don't know anything about him other than he rips people off, and that's unethical. And I'm not going to sit around and like pat him on the butt and tell him he's a good boy because he gamed the algorithm.
Yeah.
I'm going to call bullshit where I see it. And there is a history of me doing that on my channel for years. It's nothing new for me to say that's bad.
Yeah. And it should be fair even for people to call out us, and say, hey, what you're doing, if we put out malpractice things, like I sure hope that somebody would say, hey, why are you doing that? What is your goal here? Like, explain yourself. And we should not be defensive. So overall, I'm hopeful for the mead community. I think it's been a great boost for mead in general.
Sure.
And I'm just hoping that all the people take the initial interest they might receive from a short video or long video, whatever they see, and apply it to a successful first adventure, or moderately successful even so.
Yep.
But those first adventures can be monumental for how far you go.
Yeah, and generally your first couple of times are going to go sideways.
Yeah.
And so you want to start with the best grasp and the best footing that you can. So you are set up for the best success that you are capable of from the jump.
Right.
Rather than start with some guys, some guy who's a very new homebrewers, kind of slapped together recipe for a traditional mead. But I think we've said our piece on that.
Yeah.
We're frozen again. And I want to read a few comments before we're done.
Let's do it.
Let me scroll up. Gregory asks if you were going to do a generic gender reveal, maybe a light purple mead.
We're not finding out until the day, so
Love that.
we're gonna.
That's what we did. It was
gonna
really
be,
exciting when she came out to be able to say, it's a girl,
Right.
The
only stressor is like we got to come up with two names, so that's kind of.
See, we had come up with two names, and then we ended up using the boy name for the girl.
Oh,
So,
I mean, it worked out.
yeah. I won't say her name, but the other name was Clover.
Oh yeah.
The girl name was Clover, and
cute.
we got to know her over the course of 24 hours, and we determined that she was in no way a
Not
Clover.
a Clover.
And so we named her a different name on our way out of the hospital. Literally like 30 minutes before we left the
You're
hospital.
like, sign it.
Yeah, we took like the lady kept coming back to our room and being like, "Y'all picked out a name yet?"
And you're like, almost.
You have a whole week in Oklahoma. You have,
Oh, really?
You have plenty of time.
You can leave the hospital?
You can leave the hospital. However, you have to then file the paperwork yourself. But if you're at the hospital, somebody files the paperwork for you.
We'll do it in the hospital.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Let's see. Zach says that Golden Hive acts low-key like a know-it-all. It's interesting is he will ask for help on Facebook groups, and then he will fold that advice into his script and say it like it's his own knowledge when people on Facebook have told him what to say. So cringy. Fun Pants says that he's going to make a Mountain Dew mead with DV10 and expects it to win a few medals. Life Unpredictable asks, do you think Golden Hive learned how to make mead watching you guys? I can confirm that he watches my channel because I was told that by a trusted source. Presumably he watches your channel too.
It's funny, as I watch more YouTube content,
Again.
I try not to watch much, but the people who, like, I listen to what people say now, and I'm like, it feels like a carbon copy of, like, things we've said. And maybe it's because we've said the same, like, you can only say things a certain way so many times. But I'm like, it just feels, even my own things when I'm talking, I'm like, I've said this literally 100 times in the same way. Like talking about staggered nutrition.
Yeah, sure.
You're like, I'm just going to repeat the same thing.
In my video today, I just kind of glossed over how to mix it up because in my head I'm like, all these people know how to make meat at this point.
Right, yeah.
Do I really need to show rehydrating a yeast?
Yeah, but that one person's like, wait, what?
Well, how do I rehydrate a yeast? Life Unpredictable says that a man-made mead Golden Hive collab would be epic. Ryu suggests that you name your child Sizer Glenn.
I was thinking Acer Glenn.
Ryu also says, of course, that's not how you make spaghetti. You have to fry the spaghetti first. Jage asks, more braggot content when?
I've got a my Lemon Blossom IPA coming out at some point that I did. Wait, no, I didn't. No, that's not a video I did. I did a Raspberry Blossom IPA. I did a Lemon Blossom separately that I think you tried. And you're on the video. And
Great.
that one,
I loved it, apparently.
Second place at Bluebonnet, which was a pretty big deal because Bluebonnet's like, I was a pretty big comp.
Yeah, Bluebonnet was big.
I was a little bit mad low-key because like the first place was like a Stein, like a pretty nifty Stein. And I was like, man, that would have been cool to win.
Yeah. I have a recipe that I started like 2 years ago for a blueberry blossom braggot with, I think it had hibiscus in it. And I never finished the recipe. It's something I'd like to get back around to. But
I mean, in my 30, 35 videos, I'm definitely going to have to do a braggot or two. I mean, for sure. Like, it's going to fall somewhere in there.
All right. We've been going for an hour and 42 minutes.
I would love to remind people we have Discords, both sides, the Doing the Most Discord and the Man Made Mead, and we both end up just having a great time chatting. Like I said, I don't get YouTube comments very often now, and I try to avoid it. I'm trying to get off Facebook. I'm trying to get off Instagram. Social media is, as we've talked about, just kind of the cyclical sort of plague, honestly. Yeah. And so I'm trying my best to get off of them. Other than Discord, I think I'll always stay true to Discord, and I'm trying to do better about just hopping in and commenting on things. But if you want to talk, that's the best way to talk to me. BC is very active in his Discord.
I am.
And if you can't find us, we have hundreds, thousands, literally, in our Discords of people who know a lot of stuff. More than us in many regards. So, like, come on in, ask questions, and someone's going to answer your question with wisdom, and we're all going to be able to talk. It's very friendly in both sides. My Discord specifically has the Homebrew Guys podcast channel. Mm-hmm. So when you stumble upon a article or something that's interesting that you think would be fun for the podcast, go ahead and throw it into there, and then we'll add it to our list if we would like to do that. So feel free to do that there. But that's the best way to contact me, at least. Same thing for BC, I think. Yeah,
and you can contact me through my website. I try to answer every email that I get through the website. And, you know, it's like one or two a day. It's not a high volume, but
that's more than me, man. I get one a week.
Well, you know, I'm selling a book, So
true.
people ask me questions about recipes and stuff in the book just to clarify. And so you can find that book at
There you
doingthemost.org/book. And again, today I had a video out on garam masala and allspice mead made with coffee. And what did you have out this week?
A tea. I taught people how to make a tea-based mead, so I used orange and cinnamon. Next week, we'll feature BC with my 5-year bulk versus bottle age tasting that we did.
Oh, yeah. We did do
a
that, didn't
hot
we?
minute ago.
Yeah, a couple
Been
months
sitting for
ago.
a while, but yeah. Oh, we're stuck. Oh, we're good.
No, we good. I'm just reading comments.
It's really fun to get to be interactive with you guys. So like, especially video ideas, we want to know what you want to see. I mean, we can like come up in our own head, like, I think this would do well. But generally, when you say like, man, I really wish you would do something like this.
Yeah.
Like, it helps us out.
for
Especially
sure.
when we have multiple people who are like, oh yeah, I'd love to see that.
Especially videos about like tips, tricks, hacks, process things. Those are for us, since we have the knowledge, they're fairly easy to put together. But sometimes, you know, you run into a little bit of a writer's block thinking of new concepts or ideas. So if you're like, I really wish there was a video on X topic, send us an email, ping us on Discord, let us know. I don't know about you, but I keep a spreadsheet of ideas. And if I'm lacking content, I'll go into that spreadsheet and say, okay, which one of these can I come up with?
I have a note every once in a while, I'll throw stuff in. Someone asked, Sir Gluten Frey was asking about if Discords were friendly for beginner level questions. And that is, yes, absolutely. I'd say the most beginner friendly. Because it's quick. You're going to have people who are also beginners, maybe one step ahead of you, who will say, oh, yeah, I know about that. And
I've been there.
Yes, and it gives those people an opportunity, too, to give their information. That's what I love about Discord. It's like most people are just maybe one step ahead of you, and you can trust generally what they're going to say.
Yeah.
And then someone's always 10 steps ahead of them. So then they can say, like, wait, hold on, buddy. Like, actually, you know, like, there's a little bit of a balance.
We try to keep our Discord servers relatively light. There are other more intense mead and beer focused Discord servers out there, but we really do our best to try and make sure that things are accessible and beginner friendly, and that our helpers are friendly, and that we have a lot of resources built into our servers. And so it's a great place to land if you're new, to go in there, ask questions, make friends. And
my Discord, we do a like amount of meads you've made essentially, and we break it into categories. So like I have a beginner through 20 meads, and it has its own specific private channel. No one older than that, or not older, but more experienced than that can enter it. And so you just get to talk, and you get to like say like, hey, here's where I'm at. And you feel like you're with people who are in the same stage as you. That's cool. Instead of being like, I'm going to ask this question here to the person who's brewed 200, and I'm afraid he's going to think I'm an idiot. Like when you hop into that one and you're with everybody who knows exactly where you're at, it's comfortable.
Greg J says Discord way more helpful than r/mead for noobs. That's probably accurate. But you know, I love the folks on r/mead.
Oh yeah.
They're good people.
It's just a different
vibe.
Yeah, different vibe.
Different vibe. Anything else? Any major announcements, or you want to do a cartwheel or anything?
I feel like I already did a major announcement. If I had two in one
you kind of just slipped that one in, didn't you? I have a major announcement, but I'm not ready to make it yet.
Yeah.
So maybe next podcast.
Honestly, Mead Stampede, the biggest one. Like, get your stuff in. We want this year to be the biggest one yet, of course, because we want to try your stuff, and the end goal here is not to make money. It's to give you quality feedback, hopefully reward you with some awards and things, and just give you a good experience. And if you're able to come into Oklahoma City, we do have a live event, and that's going to be even more fun than... Honestly, I think it's going to be the most fun.
I'm freaking hyped, dude.
We have so many quality judges coming in that are super fun to hang with. Plus, Oklahoma City is like, it's not like a party town or anything like that, but we're going to have a good time hanging out. And
we went clubbing last year.
We went clubbing last time. And that was unexpected. So.
Not happening again this year. I got to get my sleep. Yeah, but we were out till like 1 a.m. clubbing last year.
So definitely
with the whole gang.
Go check that out, Mead Stampede.
I should interject. We were gonna announce hotel block stuff here, but we've run into yet another hiccup with the hotel block. There's a chance we won't do a hotel block this year.
Yeah.
So we're still trying to iron that out because we have been through 2 hotels now and gotten not great customer service, including I spent most of my day on the phone yesterday trying to deal with this. And so there's a chance what we'll do is put up a list of recommended hotels that are nearby, and you can choose your own. There are some, I looked today, within walking distance, there are 3 hotels that are under $50 a night. And so
there you go. Yeah.
we might just make some recommendations as far as that goes. I feel really bad. We haven't got it figured out, but we actually approved a bid April 20th, and here it is May 17th, and still haven't received all the details from the hotel on it. And so it's been a lot. Please hang in there with me. We will have hotel information for you by Monday or Tuesday of next week. Guaranteed.
All right. Hop in the Discord. We'll be around to chat, and we'll be back next month, I think. I'm trying to think at the end of the month if there's anything, but we'll make it work.
Probably end of June.
We'll see you again.
Right on. Well, until next time, happy brewing.
I was going to drink this right here, but this is that gross one, so cheers.
Don't think to here.
Here. Okay, all right.
Little of that. This is the... Hold on, let me...
Plum.
Yeah, this is the plum, blueberry, blackberry, and black currant from Boss Ranch Meadery, coming soon to the Tulsa area in Oklahoma. Have a wonderful night, everyone.
Cheers.
And cheers.